Lightning flashes can be glimpsed here and there on the horizon. We crane down through Spartan soldiers in the fighting rows, leading up to one man in front of them all, delivering a speech. He is King Leonidas, who does not fully turn towards his troops, as he keeps one eye on the cloud and the rumble coming from the coastal road ahead. He addresses his men in a loud booming voice. His helmet has a dark plume crest of horsehair and feathers. His men look on admirably as their fellow 300 Spartans are there to die and have their victory either way of the outcome. They have left their homes to fight for their families and those who remain in the south in Sparta. One man in the ranks is our main character and lead, Phyxos. He is not Leonidas himself, but just an individual soldier fighting in the phalanx. They begin to march forward slowly as they ready themselves for the battle ahead. Some cheer, some growl, with adrenaline building. The Persians have broken through the cloud of dust and wind. They approach with the first wave of peasants and poor soldiers who have no armor, only spears and short blades. They charge nonetheless. They are followed by the immortals, who come from Asia, are well skilled and equipped with long blades. Behind them is a file of rhinos and war elephants. Normal men would crumble at the odds. Some say it was 100,000 versus 300. Others say this battle never took place. Spartans never denied it. King Xerxes, miles away, protected behind his camp an entire army, his navy, triremes, anchored nearby on the coastline. The storm gets ever closer now. It seems to increase with the battle. Back to Leonidas and his men. He has decimated the first wave easily and is now tackling the immortals. They put up more of a fight since having been in training their whole lives. Yet the Spartans had a tougher upbringing than anyone else in the known world and have become the strongest fighting machine at that time. Once the immortals are dealt with, the charge of the rhinos and followed by the war elephants. During all this, Phyxos is guarded by his left and right by his fellow soldiers in their phalanx formation. Their spears pierce through most, yet the rhinos and elephants have the toughest skin of all. However, due to spears and rain, they slip off the cliffs into the crushing waves below. Some throw their spears in hopes of a clean kill, some penetrate, some are lost. During this battle, a figure keeps appearing to Phyxos. He is momentarily distracted at times, but keeps fighting also. This figure wears a robe resembling a tunic, toga, yet not of this time. He has some armor, also as if a fallen soldier, but Spartans pass through him as if a ghost. He appears and disappears throughout the battle, but Phyxos never forgets him in this time in the future. The sky is blocked out for some moments until they realize the largest wave of arrows ever descends upon them. Not one Spartan survives, but the message is clear. Don't fuck with Sparta. Alright, next bit is for Alexander the Great. And it goes like this. 331 BC, Gaugamela, aka Arbela. With the victory of Granicus, Issus, and Tyre, Alexander the Great, king of Macedon, is years into his campaign to conquer the known world. His men love and respect him, but this battle in the desert will be the toughest challenge so far. Alexander had 40,000 infantry and 7,000 cavalry versus Darius III, 1 million men, some say. The temperature that day was 50 degrees Celsius. A sandstorm was approaching as well now. Gusts of wind are starting to pick up. Not cool ocean winds, but hot and dusty. The dust gets in the soldiers' eyes on both sides. Alexander has already laid out his plans of attack, but changing them constantly within the battle itself. He has great praise for his cavalry, which he leads himself. Our character lead this time is Hieronymus, who hails from Thrace. He is part of Alexander's infantry and witnesses his king fight in the most decisive battle of the campaign to date. Alexander rides behind his men, passing Hieronymus and his Greek phalanx. He charges off towards the right flank, heading towards Darius III's left. Darius III is well protected by his spiked chariots, infantry, spear and javelin men, and his cavalry awaits on his flanks. 15 war elephants wait nearby. He orders his ranks of soldiers accordingly, with hand signals and trumpets are heard, delivering the orders to confirm them. His infantry charges first, yet Darius III tries to keep an eye on where Alexander is in the battle ahead, which has already begun. Alexander's left, Parmenion, is being destroyed by the Persians, yet he is convinced of winning the battle by chopping the head off the snake in one fell swoop. He flanks Darius's infantry in the center and is intercepted by his rival's cavalry, some spiked chariots. They engage in spear and sword fighting, remaining on their horses at first. Soldiers are knocked off and fight from the ground. Even Alexander himself is stabbed in the leg and thrown off his beloved horse, Bucephalus. Momentarily lost in the dusty battle, he regains his strength, and his trusted horse finds him again to lead him out of the skirmish. He charges towards Darius's front line, since some of the infantry have marched off already, attacking Alexander's main center line and his right flank also. Some spearmen defend their Persian king in a line of men better trained than the standard infantry. Darius III sends in his war elephants and his Indian army, however it is too late. Alexander charges the Persian king and throws a spear at his enemy's chariot. He near misses his head, yet enough to scare Darius III off. He flees with his personal bodyguard and remaining soldiers. Alexander has to decide whether to give chase or assist in his dying men, both flanks nearly wiped out by this time. He decides to remain on the battlefield and decimates any remaining Persians. Hieronymus was in the Macedonian center and fought with all his life's force and was alive towards the end of the battle. He sees a figure from his previous life once more and distracted fails to notice a last charge of a war elephant which kills him before victory. That is all he remembers of that life. He reawakens centuries later. Alright, next bit is the Roman section. 180 AD, borders of Germania. Emperor Marcus Aurelius is coming to the end of his campaign in northern Europe, and with old age and decades of battle he grows weary and tired. He wishes to find a suitable replacement when he passes, and is not confident enough in his own son Commodus to take over the Roman Empire. General Maximus Decimus Meridius leads the Roman army in battle using siege engines and other battle weapons like the ballista and catapult. Fire, boulders, and massive arrows constantly barrage the German barbarians coming down from the hill slopes. Tall trees catch fire, and the smell of oil fills the battleground. Our hero, main character Invictus, is the Roman infantry, marching up the hill to meet his fate or doom. He stays in his testudo, tortoise formation, so feels more confident than on his own. Months of training and skirmishes have led up to this moment. They're nearing the final battle of Germania before they venture onto Britannia. The barbarians reach their shield formation and bash into all sides with their bodies, stones, and spears. Invictus finds gaps in his shield wall and stabs through Germanic maniacs. He kills a few and survives this battle for now. Years later, Invictus is a Roman gladiator, not a slave or a servant, but his own free man. His previous general Maximus also fights in the Colosseum, but as a slave now. They fight alongside against foreign beasts such as tigers and lions, sometimes even bears. Invictus has many battles in the arena, winning them all, until he sees the figure one more time before his death. The figure is first in the crowd, then in the arena with him. Each time he sees him throughout the ages, he figures out this figure is connected with afterlife somehow. He is Jesus Christus, who was once crucified and stabbed with the Holy Spear by one of my ancestors in Golgotha. That is our connection. He does not fear me or harm me, but protects my soul for the rest of eternity. Despite the murder, he does not blame my forefathers' misgivings. He has become my master, my mentor, my Lord. As I walk these undying lands of earth alone and knowing my purpose throughout time, I reflect on the great men I have served under over the centuries and fully understand why this has all happened to me. It has led to the modern times and the true understanding of war.